But I can't hear you. You need to unmute from your end. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just give me a finger, like a thumbs up. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you can give me a thumbs up. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear
I can
me,
hear you now.
Josh?
Yes,
I'm not
but you
talking
need to
to
out the
you.
door.
Chill. Josh, you can hear me, Abby?
Very well.
All right, that's fine then.
Okay. Oluchi, can you hear me? Oluchi, I need to. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's
Oluchi,
not, the sound isn't great, but I can hear you. I can hear you. Josh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. How about now? Is this better?
No, it's still cracking from your end.
But yours is clear. That's the most important, so
All
that's
right,
fine.
that's fine then. That's okay.
All right. All right. So I'm just gonna leave you class in the next 30 seconds, and we go live in the next 30 seconds. We good?
That's good.
All right. All the best.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar organized by 14365 for the month of August. We're going to give another 2 or 3 minutes for more people to join, and we'll go ahead and start at 11:05 on the dot. My name is Oluchi Okafor, and I will be moderating today's webinar, and we're so excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for joining and for joining on time. Let's just give it a couple of minutes, and then we will kick off with earnest. Thank you. Okay, it's 11:05 on the dot, so we're going to go ahead and start. Thank you to everyone who has joined. I can already see that we have our speakers, so we're going to launch right into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar organized by 1.365. The theme of the webinar is Understanding Export and Trade Opportunities for SMEs Beyond Borders. Like I said before, my name is Oluchi Okafor and I manage partnerships here at 1.365. And it's so great to have everyone here. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. Now, why did we arrive at this theme focusing on SMEs in particular? Now, in Nigeria, we have SMEs contributing about 48% of national GDP, and they also account for 96% of businesses and 84% of employment. Now, despite the significant contribution of the SMEs to the Nigerian economy, challenges still persist that hinder the growth and development of this sector. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, small and medium scale enterprises in Nigeria have contributed about 48% of the national GDP, and with a total of about 17.4 million businesses, they account for about 50% of industrial jobs and nearly 90% of the manufacturing sector in terms of number of enterprises. Now, though significant growth has been achieved in the MSME sector, there's still so much to be done, and one of the ways to fix this is to empower and encourage SME owners to export their goods and services, and most importantly, make it easier for them and make it sustainable. We're going to talk a lot more around making things easier for the SMEs to export and import and just generally grow their businesses. But I'd like to take the time to introduce our speakers and also introduce them to you in terms of order. But I'd like to mention that we have a speaker who unfortunately was unable to join us today, in person of Madam Shalhoma of the Nexim Bank. We're going to try to get her to join next month, but for now, we're going to still have an amazing panel that I think you will end up still enjoying. So I will go on to introduce our first speaker, and then I'm going to hand over to him almost immediately, so that I can give him enough time or ample time to explain to us his views on the topic that we're discussing today. And that first speaker is Mr. Anuluakbo Agbola, who is a supply chain expert. Mr. Anu, are you there? I can see you, but I don't know if you are enabled to speak. I'd like to take like a minute break to ask the technical team to figure out a way to get Mr. Anu to become a speaker so that he can go ahead and handle this for us. So let's give it a minute, please. Thank you.
So, good morning, everyone. I hope we can hear me. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Hello, sir. Mr. Anu, are you there? I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone.
Good
And
morning,
thank you
sir.
for the opportunity. Okay.
The floor is yours. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of this program. It's a great opportunity to see us look at SMEs and also looking at exports. Globally, we know that there's no nation that grows based on just being an import-driven economy. Ironically, I have been on the road in the south and southeastern part of Nigeria for the last 2 days. I'm speaking with you from Aba at present. Uh, and it's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to connect back to everyone with the aid of technology. I'm trying to get my videos on so that, but I hope that for now you can hear me. Can you please? Please, can you hear me
Clear,
while
sir.
I'm trying to get my video on?
We can hear you loud and clear, please.
Perfectly, perfectly.
Yes,
Thank you.
perfectly. Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, every nation must be built on exports and not just on imports. Ironically, to a large extent, Nigeria has been largely import driven, and we're doing everything to make sure that it becomes largely export driven now. Government has set up a lot of parastatals and MDAs across board, from ministries to departments and agencies, to make sure that it becomes what it really needs to be, to make sure that our export processes become seamless, to make sure that government itself looks at opportunities of bilateral agreements with other countries for opportunities to be able to push in our export products, whether they are raw materials, whether they are semi-processed materials, whether they are fully processed materials. And now we see that even some bit of raw materials, some bit of finished and used products are even being pushed out of town now. Uh, and government is doing everything to make sure that the processes become as seamless as much as possible compared to what it was years ago. Um, Government processes are being simplified by the day, though there are still a lot of complaints from a lot of customers or a lot.
Hello, Mr. No, I think we lost you there. Am I the only one who can't hear him anymore? Hello?
I think there's been a network issue from his end. So we're going to be working on that.
Okay, so I think that Mr. Nu might be having some network challenges. He mentioned that he is in Aba at the moment, so I think that might be responsible for the current break. I'd like to ask for everyone's patience,
Can
please.
you hear me perfectly?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you
All
very
right,
well, very
please
well.
go right
I
ahead
can
then.
hear you comfortably. Yeah. So one of the biggest challenges Nigeria has had is that we have a lot of people who say they want to export, but from an international perspective, do our export products really measure up to international benchmarks? And that is where the Shippers Council, the NEPC, and a lot of export initiatives by governments at federal, state, and local levels are working on making sure that, one, people who want to export first have an idea of what the export standards in the countries, the targeted countries are, so that we are not just looking at it from what we call in logistics the point of origin, which is Nigeria, but the destination market. What are their standards? Do we meet it? Do we need to work on some things? Do we have the certifications that will make our exporters really primed for these markets, so that we don't have issues where products leave Nigeria and before it gets to where it's going, whether it's by water or by air, uh, it has been compromised on a quality perspective and then it's now sent back. Government has been working around this a lot with shipping lines, with logistic companies, to make sure that we are on point. I would be bold to tell you that a lot of
Hello, sir. I think we've lost you again.
of seafood was being packaged in Nigeria and pushed to a lot of other countries, and it's forcing everybody to step up their game from a quality perspective. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, and so it shows that the future is bright. One of the things I also tell people is that, for once we are more export driven, you will see that to the back end, from a backward integration perspective, everybody will step up the game. Farmers will sit up. You have a lot of manufacturing outfits that will take up the middle milestones in the value chain. You have a lot of exporters who will also improve their processes to make sure that they are in line with global benchmarks. And with this, Nigeria will become more export driven. We need to be highly export driven now, because that's one of of the main factors that can really improve the fortunes of our currency. Globally, our currency is not in a good state, and we all must do everything to make sure that our currency picks up. You now look at the naira to the pound, you look at the naira to the dollar. Everybody's trying to go for more education outside, and then there's so much demand for dollars, and the naira is just sliding down. But we know that with concerted efforts of government initiatives and every citizen also sitting up to say, what can I export? What can I work on? We will see the naira pick up a lot. And I know that with time, we will see a lot of the gains that we expect. We'll see.
If you can hear me, because I can't hear you anymore. Please let's pardon our speaker. I'm really enjoying what he's saying, but unfortunately, we're going to probably have these network issues because of his location. Hello, Mr. Anu, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I will
We
ask
can
that
hear
you
you
please
now,
let the
sir.
first speaker. Yes, I can hear you. I will ask that you please let the first speaker, the next speaker, go on. Then I will come in after Hammer.
Oh, okay.
Is
So
that cool?
yeah, I think we can probably work on getting that to happen. Our next speaker is actually a member
Yes.
of the team
Thank
because
you.
the original speaker dropped off last minute. So I'll let you go
Okay.
for maybe 10 minutes, sir, and then we'll have you
Okay.
back
Perfect.
because I think everybody is really enjoying what you're saying. So
Okay. Perfect, man.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, man. Yes, man. I want to make sure I connect via my laptop comfortably instead of my
Okay.
phone. Yeah.
I think that
Thank
would
you,
be
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
everyone.
You're welcome.
We'll give
Yeah.
Mr. Anu a couple of minutes to fix the situation around his data. But at the moment, I need to confirm from the technical team that our next speaker, who is actually our country manager here at 1.365, is available to fill in for Mr. Anu while he's away. Punit, I can see you. Could you turn on your camera? Hello, Punit, can you hear me? Okay, there he is. Hi, Punit.
Hi, hi.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Thank you for filling in last minute for our speaker who unfortunately couldn't make it. So I'm going to hand the floor over to you. I'm sure that with your wealth of experience in freight forwarding in Nigeria, especially, you will definitely able to give us some insight into SMEs and how they can export easily, both through the 1.365 platform and then just generally any other information that you can share from your experience. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Feluke. Thank you once again for inviting me. Uh, to start off with, since this webinar is all about SMEs, I would just like to start off with, giving the insight about how strong SME presence is globally. If you look at some of the big organizations, logistics companies like DHL or Maersk Line, or any of these global logistics company, if you ask them, they would agree to the fact that a major chunk of their revenue, maybe almost up to the tune of 40% revenue, comes from SME customers. So SME, which is a small and medium enterprises, they play a very key role in driving any economy, and especially when you're talking about markets like Africa, there are a lot of small and medium enterprises, which initially have started as a small and medium enterprise, but over a period of time they have grown and they have now become big conglomerates. So I'm sure Dangote, when it started, it was not as big as it is today. So every small and medium enterprise has that thing to become a big enterprise, provided you have the right direction. So Probably in this webinar, what I would like to give you is a little bit of an insight about how you can grow your export business as a small and medium enterprise. So the step is very simple. It's about 6 steps, which I will try to give you an overview today. The first step is identifying potential export markets. Nigeria, we have a lot of we have a lot of agri commodities like sesame, ginger, hibiscus, and a couple of other agri commodities which moves out from Nigeria. And surprisingly, the quality from Nigeria is one of the best qualities. It meets to the international standards of some of the developed countries. Say, for example, ginger. US imports a lot of ginger from Nigeria. You would be surprised to note that. So first is, you have to identify the potential markets where you want to sell your goods. Okay. So that is step number one. Step number two, once you have identified a market, you it's like a funnel. So basically on step two, what you do is connect with the potential buyers. Who are the buyers who are going to buy these goods in these markets? Let's say you want to do export of a particular agri commodity. You have identified Europe as a market. Now within Europe, European Union is quite big. It comprises of so many countries. So let's say you want to sell something to Germany. So you identify, okay, Germany. Now I want to look for potential buyers in Germany. So then you start connecting with potential buyers who want to buy your goods in Germany. So that is step number two. Then step number three is send samples to those buyers to gain their confidence and agreed on a desired quality. Most of the times the customers who want to buy certain goods, they are skeptical about the quality of the goods. What if I buy goods worth hundreds and thousands of dollars, and if it does not comply to my quality requirements? So to gain the confidence of the customer, you need to send some sample orders to them. Agree that, okay, we will send a sample order so that you can check the quality. So that is step number three. Then step number four would be agree on the shipping terms. Let's say your customer, your identified customer, he says that, okay, I'm okay with the quality. Make sure that uh, the quality is maintained. So so then what happens is, the next step what we have is, look for a professional company like OnePort, or any logistics company which can support you with documentation and shipping. So that is basically step 5, wherein you look for the documentation for a company which can help you book your consignment with the shipping lines, or airlines help you with all the required documentation, because most of the countries, they have their specific documentation requirements. So that is step number 5. And then step number 6 is ship the goods and then submit all the documents to your bank or to your customer, depending upon your payment terms, and collect the agreed payments from your customer. So you can see it's a very simple six steps process. Identify market, identify buyer, then send samples and agree on quality, then agree on shipping terms, then look for a freight forwarder to move those goods, and then once the goods are moved, just submit your shipping documents to collect the agreed payment. So it's a very simple 6-step process. Now, one of the major challenges which most of the small and medium enterprises also face is, how do we get leads on potential customer? How do we know who is looking to export goods? Now, one of the things which I can recommend to you is about how you can get potential customer leads. Basically, there are 2 or 3 ways by which we can identify potential customer. First and foremost, you need to register your company with various chambers of commerce. We have various chambers of commerce like EU chambers of commerce, then you have South African chamber of commerce, then you have UK chamber of commerce. So once you register with these chamber of commerce, which are predominantly supported by the embassies of those individual countries, you start getting all the requirements from the various countries where you have registered. Let's say if someone wants to import something from Nigeria and he's based out of South Africa, he will reach out to his chamber of commerce and say, listen, I want to buy some stuff from Nigeria. Can you help me find a source which can give me good quality products at good price? So what happens is these chamber of commerce will really help you getting trade leads. So that is one aspect. The second is joint trade delegations. There are many a times when a lot of these trade delegations visit for various exhibition. Like they get into these exhibitions and try to campaign for their products and try to sell the utilities of these products to their potential buyers. So you need to be a part of these trade delegations and see how you can get orders from potential customers or buyers. So that is another way of getting potential customer leads. So I think it's the potential for doing exports from Nigeria is huge. There's a lot of potential. Of late we have seen a lot of companies within Nigeria who have also started not just exporting raw commodities but also adding values. Like the other day, we came across some companies in Abuja which is also doing value add to African snacks and trying to take it to the global standards and see how they can pitch these products in UK and US. So there's a ample of opportunity out there if we want to do exports. And I'm sure with a lot of focus and efforts, we should be able to the SMEs should be able to get foothold into that market. So I think yeah.
Thank you so much, Puneet. I especially liked the fact that you've been able to break it into 6 different steps. I think that that definitely helps anybody who is interested in starting. At the very least, you know what to do and how to do it. And I'm sure that Mr. Anu, when he comes back to take his session, will definitely buttress a lot of the points that you've also made. So thank you so much, Puneet. I'm incredibly grateful because we know how short notice this was. And I think you've done a fantastic job of starting us off. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Oluchi.
Your day.
Thanks.
All right.
You have a great day. Yes.
You too. All right. Thank you everyone for staying with us. As you can see, I think that this is definitely a value add webinar in every single possible way. I want to ask admin to go ahead and include Mr. Anu as a speaker so that we can go ahead and finish off with him. Mr. Anu, can you hear me? Hello? Let's give it a couple of minutes so that he can get set up to come talk to us and conclude his session. Okay, so just to remind everyone, immediately after Mr. Anu's session, we're going to be inviting the CTO for 1.365, Adebayo Adeumi. He's going to be taking us through the platform 1.365 because this is our second webinar, and I'm sure for those of us who joined the first time, or even if this is the first one you're joining, you're probably wondering, who we are, what we do, and how the platform actually encourages SMEs to export more, because it's basically just at your fingertips. All the things you want to do in terms of contacting the freight forwarder, we can help you do that via our digital platform. And Bayo will be taking us through that in another couple of minutes. Mr. Anu, can you hear me? Because I can see that you're a speaker, so I'm wondering if there's an issue. Okay, so we're going to give it a couple of minutes while I go find out why this delay is happening, because I know we all really want to hear Mr. Anu speak today. So let's give it a couple of minutes. Again, apologies. This is a virtual program. These are issues that are bound to happen, especially with the state of the internet in this country. Hello, Mr. Anu. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, sir. So can you please, is it
Perfectly.
possible for us to have your camera on now so that we can see you?
Yeah, so you're gonna have my camera and you're gonna see me on the road. I'm on the
That's fine.
Enugu Port Harcourt Express Road. Everyone, can you see me?
Yes, we can sort of kind of see you, and I think that's fine. We can go ahead, sir. Go ahead, please.
So you can see trucks running behind me. I'm a largely remote person. Need to make sure
Okay.
everything is working perfect. I've driven from Port Harcourt to Aba today, and it's
Wow.
nice seeing everyone here. Um, it makes me appreciate exports and imports and logistics basically, because you have a first feel of it. You're not just saying it, it's what you do every day, and it makes you appreciate the potentials in it.
I
I'm
agree.
grateful to Punit for where he stopped, and I'm so happy that he touched on the SMEs. The biggest of corporations that we see today all started from being SMEs, and they grew by the day because one, they had people who shared the vision, they had the right staff, they had the right products, they had the right target market, and they made sure they accelerated their processes on all this to make sure that they got their products to the right place. Looking at Nigeria is a country that's got lots of materials, whether it's raw materials, human resource, and other ancillary items here and there. But the biggest challenge has been putting them to use everywhere. Exports was what built Nigeria. Northern Nigeria's economy, colonial times, was built by the groundnut pyramids and kola nut exports. Southern Nigeria was built by cocoa. The eastern part was built by rubber, coal, and what we call it, and palm oil. Now the big question is, how many of these things do we still work on? I see lots of dead cocoa trees by the roadside, not well tended. You see a lot of us. We do not give so much of a damn about granules anymore, and we have to get back to it to grow Nigeria, because Nigeria must grow, and we all have a part to play in it. And so the big thing now is government has taken the bull by the horn. The setup of the Nigerian export processing commission Exportations Council about 12 years ago has been a decisive step by government to make sure that across all levels we grow the economy from an export perspective. And this is what we must make sure that this does not decelerate. Presently, from northern Nigeria, there's been a lot of push around sesame, around hibiscus flower, around cut flower, around kola nuts. I know that at least I work every month out of Kano and northern Nigeria for a couple of 7 to 10 days monthly, and I see that everybody's trying to get back to make sure that export works. But it also means that we must also make sure that from a quality perspective, we meet the quality of the target markets. Most of these products go to North America, Middle East Asia, Far East Asia, and South America, where there are a lot of manufacturing companies. So it also raises a fundamental issue. When will Nigeria also step up by creating their own manufacturing companies? We can't just be pushing out our raw materials. How would it look if all the industrial zones that were created by the founding fathers of Nigeria from the Oluyole ones, from the ones in Ogba in Lagos, from the ones in Transamadi in Port Harcourt, to the ones in Eluku in Enugu, to the ones in Kaduna on Kasia Road, to the Bompai and Chalawa ones in Kano. Imagine if all those industrial layouts came back on stream, all of them producing. Definitely, by the time people are graduating from the universities or polytechnics or colleges of education or vocational institutes, they are assured of jobs. So you definitely know that you need to work on exports. And like Puneet said, every nation that is growing today definitely started from allowing SMEs to grow. The biggest companies in the world, the Tatas of this world, the Rockefellers of this world, the Boeings, and mention them, even Maersk. Maersk started from a one-man business who had a vision. We've done about 140 years now globally in about almost 130 countries, and it's because of somebody's vision. So it behoves us as Nigerians, particularly also, to sit up and say, we want to take over the full value chain. And this end-to-end value chain has a lot of job opportunities, a lot of business opportunities for people. I'll start from a backward integration perspective. Let's run it through. Someone who is the farmer who tills the land because he wants to grow cocoa or sesame or hibiscus or tend his palm oil and rubber trees, to the guys who are going to work with him in his farm, to the guys who will process it, the first line of processing, to the guys who will clean it, to the guys who will bag or put the products in big drums or casks, to the guys who will roll it into the trucks, to the truck owners, to the guys who will take it to the ports, the guys who will do documentations. You can imagine how many people will have jobs on this value chain, and then it gets pushed to the vessels or the aircraft. We have a lot of airports that are not being totally optimized. We say we want them to become stroke air freight airports, but how many of them really have enough cargo moving through them? It's only from an export initiative that we can drive this. More of us need to go into small scale manufacturing, whether it's to produce semi-processed stuffs or fully processed. And we must make sure that we meet the standards of the target market, which is one of the things Puneet also mentioned. So it means that we must also have an idea of what the target markets need. I will also look at a fact that many of us, some people say, how do I get to know? A lot of us carry mobile phones around. What do we utilize it for? Do we take time to look at what export or import requirements into other countries demand? We need to know it then to help us to scale up what we will do from our own part. When I know what the United States or the EU countries standards is, then I will know how I will make sure that whether I'm planting an agro crop or it's a finished product, I must make sure that I measure up to their international benchmarks and certifications. And then via this way, we provide a lot of jobs for people around the world and for Africa. And with this, once people see that small scale industry step up, it's easy to get investments, because investors know that even when you do a business case, and from a profitability perspective, they see your figures and they can know that if they support this initiative, whether their governments are supported, government has set up the Bank of Industry, we have Nigerian Agricultural Credit Bank, we have a lot of cooperative societies, and all they are all doing is to, via funds, facilitate support for people who are delving into exports. And so we can see that there are a lot of opportunities that the government has worked upon. But how many of it have we really optimized? How many of us think that we need to grow beyond just subsistent agriculture, but grow for an export mindset, so that at least we can do everything to shore up the value of our currency? It's sadly when you stand at the ports, whether it's in Lagos or Onne or Calabar, and all you see coming in is lots of boxes from an import perspective, but we're not pushing out a lot. Government in the last 1 year created what we call export transit hubs in Kano, in Calabar, in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, which was in Apapa, Ikorodu, Ebute Meta, and all that, to make sure that people can get export products out of town in a fast way. Now we move export products via rail into the ports, we move it via trucks, we move it via barges. But how many people have accessed all these opportunities? So it shows that from a government perspective and the perspective of stakeholders, from players like Maersk and a whole other ones like the Nigerian Shippers Council, the Bank of Industry, and other ancillary agencies, the footprints and the support has been provided, but how many of us have accessed it? You meet someone who says he wants to export, he goes through all the bureaucratic stuff, he possibly gets funds, and instead of using the funds to push his export, he ends up using funds to go marry another wife, buy vehicles, build castles, which won't endure. But if you put it into the right things that you got it for, we would enhance industrialization. Everybody talks about the Asian tigers. Their main pivot has been that they have been exporting. When they started exporting, people, we know that gone are days when you said something's a China product. Then we used to think that a China product was a product that was of sublime quality. But now the best of phones, the best of vehicles are coming from that axis. So it shows that we also need to push the export market. Everybody needs to push it in schools. Curriculums need to start looking at exports in schools. Students need to go on excursions to look at places where that are milestones on the export value chain, whether it's a farmstead, whether it's a producing factory, whether it's where you have raw materials, whether it's a warehouse, whether it's a cargo airport, whether it's a cargo plane, whether it's a cargo vessel, whether it's a truck. People need to have more information around all these milestones, and then this would definitely ignite a lot of passion in everybody. People need to watch the right documentaries, and we also need to look at our history. Where did Nigeria start? We need to look at what happened to the kola nuts and the granite pyramids we used to have in the north. We need to look at what happened to our cocoa trees. We need to come to the south tower and look at what happened to our rubber trees and our palm oil trees. We need to get back to what our founding fathers had as a vision, and then all of us would be able to push the export initiative, riding on the great processes and policies and products that government across all levels have created. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Anu. You took us back to school with that one. Honestly, I think that there's nobody who is on this call that has not learned anything from everything you've said, right from, talking about taking it back to the roots, going, back to the basics, and then obviously linking that to Punit's conversation around the 6 steps that every SME should take if they're interested in exporting their goods and services. Thank you so much, sir. I think that was very well put, very easy to understand, no buzzwords, so I appreciate that very much. We have a comment. Okay, somebody had asked for your phone number. Thank you so much for being gracious enough to share that with the house. So guys, the number is there, so pick it up immediately, because I didn't even think he would share it and I wasn't going to ask, so he did. So please pick it up and take advantage. We have a couple of comments and I'm going to read through them. You can turn your camera off moving forward, so it's just for you to respond to some of the questions. So that will be it. Owolabi Tajuddin says, I really enjoyed the speaker, but the problem for some of us SMEs is access to financial support. All government programs in this area, people in charge are not transparent. Mr. Anu, you want to take that? Can you hear me, sir? Hello? Oh, seems like we're having a challenge with Mr. Anu. Can't find him anymore. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir. So the question, I don't know if you heard the question or the statement rather. Okay, we have another question and statement while we wait for Mr. Anu's network to get better. Sunday Emmanuel Chijoke says the challenges of exports out of Nigeria today is mainly on the cost through the value chain versus the cost from our neighbors. That's a very, very interesting point. Most buyers. No, sir, we can't hear you, Mr. Anu. We can't hear you at all. I don't know if you want to go off and join back just to take some of these questions and comments that we're getting from the house. Sunday also says most buyers today prefer buying from our neighbors than from us, Nigeria. So yeah, these are very, very key statements. One speaks to the transparency of the people in charge of the export programs, and second one speaks to the fact that our neighbors are more attractive in terms of costs, and then also because of the value chain that seems to work more favorably for the neighboring African countries that also produce these commodities. Mr. Anu, can you hear me? Okay, you know what we're going to do? I think to make this easier on him because of
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir. So did you hear the
Perfectly.
question?
I can hear you perfectly.
All right, sir. Did you hear the questions, or should I take them again?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. I need to know if I should take the questions again. We have two questions for you.
Yes, I can see all the questions that have been written down, and I'm going to try and take them one by one.
Thank you, sir. You can go
Um,
ahead.
yeah, yes. No, I can see them. I can see the questions. I can see them myself. I can see them. So I have seen someone talk about the problems. Yeah, so I can see someone talk about the problems of SMEs. The truth is that um apart from the people in these agencies possibly also not being transparent, the question also would be how many of us have a business case that will really garner funds? How many of us have business cases that will really garner funds? How many of our business cases can really be presented and someone will be able to get funds for it? How many of us have the right pitches? We talk of a lot of startups, and one of the things that has helped a lot of startups is their ability to present realistic pitches. Do we do our figures right? What are our cost benefit analysis? And the figures in a way that do we have figures written in a way that all things being equal, our projections are right? If we do all this, then we'll have a case knowing that even if there are bureaucratic initiatives that might try to block it to a large extent, we would also know that we have dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's. So many times I like to make sure I don't just say that it's the government or non-transparency. I also ask myself, how realistic have we been from our end? Have we done a good job with getting our acts right? If we have done a good job, then we know that at least we have crossed a lot of hurdles. But one thing I tell many people is take a while after you have written down your pitch and your business case. Ask yourself, if you were on the other side of the divide, would you vet this business case or pitch? If you can't vet it based on a couple of indices, then you need to have a second look at what you are presenting. I hope people can hear me. Then someone talked about the challenges of export out of Nigeria today is mainly on the cost through the value chain versus the cost from our neighbors. Looking at I know that of a truth, export is heavy now and the margins on it are not so much. But it's all because of the exchange rate between naira and dollar. So we all have a concerted effort to make sure that we do everything to make sure that the naira also gains. When the naira gains traction and it becomes stronger, you will see that the cost will go down. Government and all stakeholders are doing everything to reduce all the bottlenecks and all the price constraints to make sure that it's easier for people to get through it. A lot of chambers of commerce are supporting people. A lot of global initiatives are on ground to make sure that Africa grows and in fact Nigerian export grows. We need to make use of many of these. Someone has also said the second challenge today is sourcing. The commodity market today is almost on its nail due to insecurity. This is a big factor. Insecurity is a big factor. And some people are telling us gradually now that a lot of the issues around insecurity are traced to the fact that a lot of raw materials and produce are domiciled at some points, and so that these are some of the things that are breeding it. People know that maybe there's some gold deposits somewhere, there's some iron ore deposits somewhere, and then you see instances of banditry around all this place because everyone wants to have a piece of the pie. But we know that government at all levels are also playing their part in improving security. Once security improves, definitely we will see a reduction in cost of a lot of these transactions will also go down, because there are some places now that even from a logistic perspective, not just everyone wants to take a dive into going to those places to pick these materials. But I know that within time, it's gonna get better gradually, and things will improve. So it's a matter of why. But I know that things have got better than it used to be, and the opportunities to get better are also still existing. So we just have to keep our focus and not lose hope. I've also seen someone talk about the power situation. It's very important. You need power to make sure that manufacturing is going on. But I tell people there are a lot of silver linings. A lot of people have looked at power and have set up a lot of solar installations. The sun is free and it shines everywhere, whether on the good or on the bad people. So we need to start looking at how we can also optimize a lot of other sources of power beyond just the ones that come from the electricity companies. So we know that presently it might look like there's a thin way for SMEs, but I dare tell people in the midst of it all, a lot of SMEs are still thriving. I think we just need to ask ourselves, we need to what we do in business. There's something they call pivoting. A lot of companies are pivoting or diversifying into other industries beyond what they initially set out to do. The Englishman says necessity is the mother of invention. When we look at, if you've been working on plan A and you see that plan A is not looking realistic, you move to another plan and then you get it right there. So I do not want anybody to lose hope, because if you think you're losing hope, there are some people who are saying in the midst of it all they would get something done, and when they get it done, the ones who lost hope or dropped out of the race will still have to go to them. Someone talked about contract manufacturing. Post COVID-19 has been a watershed that has helped a lot of companies, and Nigeria needs to tap into it. We've been a largely import-driven economy, but there were some instances where people had issues getting some of their products in, and it forced other people to possibly try to produce these products from a semi-processed perspective or a finished product perspective, and it's made a whole lot of difference. So I would not want anybody to lose hope. Get your acts right, start small, and then gradually push your market. I'm sitting in Aba presently, and beside me here I can see some guys creating aluminum metal sheets for houses. They're doing it. Prior years people will be importing these things. Now these guys are producing it, and they're definitely going to be exporting some of these things to the West Africa market. So I do not want us to lose hope. There are a lot of silver linings, and some people are optimizing it. So it behoves you and me also to make sure that we optimize it. Thank you very much.
Moments with people who have really enjoyed what you've had to say. We know you're on the road, so I'm going to let you go. Thanking you so much for everything
Thank
that
you so much.
you've said. And
Thank
I
you.
know that you'll probably be getting a lot of calls and a lot of emails today from people who are interested in learning more or just interacting with you and, maybe doing business with you as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Anu. Thank you. We will let you go now and then we'll move on to our next session. So thank you everyone for staying with
Thank you
us.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you everyone for
Thank
staying with
you.
us. I'm sure that you can see the
Thank
value that
you.
you're getting from this. I want to check with the admin team that we have the CTO for 14365 who is going to be showing us a live demo or a demonstration of the platform and how it works. Obviously tailoring that conversation to SMEs who are interested and would like to find an easier and faster way to get their shipping done. Um, Hi, Bayo. Can you hear me? And for the purpose of those who have just joined us, our next speaker is Adebayo Adewumi. He's the CTO for 14365, and he's going to be showing us the 14365 platform. And I think he might also have some other goodies to share with us in terms of what this platform can do for you and how it can actually help you, your family members, or also SMEs that are interested in learning how to export and how the platform just helps you do it easily without having to go through necessary. Hi, Bayo. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Bayo. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, I think your screen is frozen. Maybe internet. Hi, Bayo. The line is cracking seriously. I hope this is not how people. I hope everybody can hear me, and they're not hearing me the way I'm hearing Bayo at the moment, because that would mean I've been talking to myself all this while. I can't hear you, Bayo. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, so I think we're probably going to keep trying to get to a place where we can hear Bayo, so that we can talk about all that the 1.365 platform can essentially do for everyone here. Um, we would be sharing this webinar, an edited version anyways, on YouTube as well. I think that YouTube link will be sent to everyone who is registered and joined today, and also people who registered and didn't join. When you get the link, please, I'd like to encourage us to please share it far and wide. If you know you were able to learn anything from the speakers that we've heard so far today, I think that it would only be, kind of you to share that with your colleagues, your friends, or anybody else who might be interested in export. I think that they will definitely find it incredibly valuable. So we'll be sending that to you immediately after this, and also we'll be sending you information about all the other webinars that we'll be having. We do this once a month, and this is our second one, and we're very proud of all that we've been able to accomplish with these webinars, because we know that a lot of people have been given real information. It's easy to Google things and go on Google and say, oh, how do I export? But it's always best to hear from the professionals, and that way you are set to do it the right way, and you don't lose money or lose time or lose both. So we're grateful to everyone who's joined, and we're grateful to everyone who we know is going to join next month on, because I think that next month is going to be quite something. I'll encourage you to make time to join that as well. But when you also do get the YouTube link, feel free to rewatch, feel free to send it to people, feel free to, save it as a reference point for when you're ready to start your own export business as an SME. I need to check in again on Bayo. Where are we on Bayo? Is Bayo here? Because Bayo is the one holding a lot of meat on this webinar. He's the one that's going to be talking about the platform itself, 1.365 platform. 1.365 is actually Africa's digital channel for seamless freight forwarding. Yeah, it's a mouthful, I know. So he's going to break that down in layman's terms and show you exactly how to use this digital channel for seamless freight forwarding. I'm going to take a minute to go check on Bayo, and then we will go ahead and start. So pardon me, you won't hear or see anything for a minute, but I'll be back.
Yes. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Bayo, can you hear me?
Yes, Oluchi, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Finally, you're a hard man to reach, apparently. I can hear you, but I can't. The video is really, really cracking. So I don't know, for this, because we're doing like a demo, is it possible to turn off your video and then we just hear your voice over the demo? Because maybe that is messing up the sound, because I can't hear you very well, and your video is very frozen. So if we can turn that off, okay.
Is it
It's
a lot
better. I
better?
can hear you now.
Oh, awesome. Some apologies for that.
Mm,
Apologies. It's
it
better
could be
now.
better.
Okay. Can everyone hear me now?
It's, it's cracking. That's the problem.
Okay,
But you
just
can go ahead. I think if you can just at the very least share your screen, I think that
oh,
will try to fix the sound from somewhere else. So let's try that, shall we?
all right. Okay, so awesome.
We can hear you much better now, by the way. So you can go ahead.
Amazing. Okay, so quick one. Can everyone also see my screen? Hello? Can everyone see my screen as well? Can anyone? Okay, great. Okay, so I think I see one person confirm. Oh, sure. That they can see my screen. Okay, first of all, I want to just appreciate Oluchi for this session. I think so far it's been really insightful. Um, Thank you very much, Mr. Anu, as well. I think I've been able to benefit several things. Just speaking on the export, and I'm also seeing questions to around some of the bottlenecks that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, and very valid questions, right? And in doing that as well is how we're also looking at introducing how can we, while we're solving the problem of exports, some of the challenges around exports, how can we also leverage technology to help us achieve that. um some of my talking points, right? Some of my talking points will talk around the huge, and I think people before me have already spoken to the huge gains that are there, right? So we're looking at sorry. Yeah, so we're looking at about Africa's income, right, coming to about $450 billion, right, by 2035. And then it's important that we are also positioning ourselves for when all of that will happen. Um, that said, right, while we're optimizing the supply chain industry for profitability, accountability, and all of that, we are positioning ourselves as that partner that would enable seamless exports. So I will get into the demo, please. Again, I would also be looking into the comments as well. And for those that want to also join me, I mean, whether some people might also want to carry along as I'm doing the demo, I'll put our application, the link to the application in chat. Okay. So you can use the link. You can use the link in chat. I just pasted the link now in the chat. Right. I believe that we all can use the link in chat to follow through on what I'm doing as well. So what we've done so far is we've built it's a simple application to be able to allow basically traders, farmers, wherever you sit along the supply chain line, right, to be able to get exports, right, to be able to export your goods today or also find imports. So today, some of the bottlenecks that we experience, right, go around booking. Typically, we have challenges around just even getting prices. I think I saw one question in the chat talk around some of the costs that are accrued, or some of the costs that are being incurred as a result of trying to export, right? So and that was like a very valid concern. Some of all those things is what we've addressed. Today, I will just see how we can pick on four key things. One of them is the turnaround time for booking. So today you want to export your goods, right? And then right there on your farm, your warehouse, or wherever your goods are seated, how urgently or how quickly can you get a quotation for that particular good? So what's the turnaround time? Typically, we have calls that are being made to third-party partners, clearing and CNF agents, so all of that. And then everybody is doing, there's an helter skelter just to get that code. So one of the things that we've done is we've built this platform to allow for seamless exchange for quotation, providing quotes today. So what that means is you can easily go on a platform, type in what you're trying to export, right? And then based on that, you can get a very, very, very cost-friendly quote. A very, very, very cost-friendly code. So if you can see my screen, you see here, if I go to 1.365.com, I can see I'm told to select my shipment type. Again, represented with a very beautiful landing page, right? So I get to select between import and export, right? Because we are talking about export today, so I'll just select the export. Of course, if it's an import shipment, you can also do that as well. So the very first one is, where exactly are you situated? So the very first question that we ask you is, where are you situated? Where is your pickup location? Right. Once we have that, once we have your pickup location, so this is plugged into every location in Nigeria today. So wherever you are situated, wherever you are located across Africa, you can very much put in your pickup location. So I'm going to select Kachia Road in Kaduna just for these demo purposes. And then what port? Where are you exporting to? So also we've plugged in with all the ports in the world, right? So all the way from Middle East to Asia, right? Typically, we have other partners in Africa. Talk about wherever it is in Europe as well, or the Americas. So I'm going to select Valencia in Spain, or Barcelona in Spain. Then so I can easily just come into that field and type. So as you type the location that you're looking at exporting, you see that the drop down list gets smaller, and then you can select your final option. So if I click on continue, so it takes us to the second step. The second step allows us to just put in how many containers are you looking at exporting for this particular shipment, right? Let's say for demo reasons, just one container. What's the standard size of the container as well? Is it a 20-foot container or a 40-foot container? I'll say 140-foot container. And then what kind of goods are we looking at exporting? For this demo, we'll be exporting agro-allied products. Again, of course, if that's not your use case, you are very free to put in your own use case, and then you can also put like a description of the goods as well. So today on this demo, we'll be exporting sesame seeds, right? And then, I mean, if there are other descriptions or things that you want to add to this list as well, I'm sure you can always put that in the description. We would get that on from our own operational end, and then we're also able to act on that. Also, we have additional services. Fantastic. So some of our additional services include insurance today. So goods are moving across Africa. There is very, very important. There's a need to actually add insurance, right, to that particular good, right? So you're asking, do I want to add insurance, or do I need warehousing for some people that do consolidated cargo, for people that want to repackage, right? So some of all these things, that's where we see some of our customers ask today and say, oh, I need a warehouse, right? Or I'm looking at insurance as well for my goods, right? So for that, we're asking for the value of goods. Usually that's on the PFI, on the pro forma invoice, right? So I'll say it's just for this demo, and then the duration in weeks. I need warehousing. Yes, so I've selected that I need warehousing. How long do I need warehousing for? One thing that I want to highlight here is we're able to negotiate warehousing prices 2 weeks. A lot of times people are used to, you have to pay for a warehouse for a month, even though you probably need for 2 weeks thereabout, right? So we're able to break down your warehousing negotiation, and that also helps with pricing as well. So rather than pay all the for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months, as the case might be, right? Depending on who you're negotiating with, or even 1 year. We've actually had customers say warehousing. Okay. Customers say, oh, warehousing is being negotiated over the course of a year, right? And then they need it for just a couple of weeks. So here you can put in the duration of warehousing, 3 weeks, right? Or let me 2 weeks. And then when do you want us to come to your factory, your warehouse? So you can let us know with the simple date drop down as well. So if, for example, I say Friday, I want you to come pick up on Friday my cargo. You see, then there's the prompt. Do you need insurance? I think I mentioned insurance earlier as well. So today we have partnered with one of the biggest insurance brokers in Nigeria, right? And then we even have partnership for people that are looking at insurance outside of Nigeria as well. We have partnerships that would allow us to actually get that done as well. So wherever you are, your goods are covered. Very, very important. And then I think that's all. So very simple form. Okay, so it brings us to the point. Now, all of your data is actually back again. For us, security is very important, right? So what that means is this is behind the firewall. Typically, you would be directed to create a new account, right? For people that don't have an account, right? So what that would mean is we're asking you for basic details, your first name, last name, email address, phone number. Okay, so I already have an account, so I'll most likely just go to login. But for those that don't have accounts, you can go ahead and create an account. Yeah, please, if I'm talking too fast, just let me know in the comment section, and I'm sure I can always. Or if you need me to rephrase or explain, provide clarity, right? You can always let me know in the comment section as well. Um, so this is for mail account. So I'll go ahead and log in. I already have an account. So uh, I'm trying to just get access to my password. Okay. I'm trying to cover my password. Let me do it. Uh, okay. Apologies, guys. I'm just trying to get into my account. Okay, thank you. Okay. 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 Thank you. Oh, apologies. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. So, okay, so I see the system. So the system basically just takes me to my quotes. It's loading my quotes. Refresh this quickly. Okay, great. So basically the system just loads. For people that are paying attention, you see that this was the last quote that we created. So I have 3 quotes here, right? You see, this was the last quote that was created coming from Kachia, right? It was created today. Of course, we issue you a unique number, and then this quote is heading to Spain. So if you're creating one now, you would also see there is a new quote that is being created. I can come in here to view the details of the quote. So typically we would have additional details of the quote. And then what we have is okay, awesome, fantastic. So what we have today is you can see the summary of your quotes. I can see everything that I've done. It's an export shipment coming from Kachia in Kaduna, is headed to Catalonia in Spain, right? Some of the documents, again, down the journey, some of these documents will probably be required, would be required to provide some of these documents. But the basics around the shipment as well, warehousing, insurance, etc. So if I go back, that's on the shipment summary. I can also view the quote details as well. So what happens is whenever we share that quote, right, our own admins in-house pick it up, generate a quote for us, and then they're able to share with they're able to share the code. So you can take this code, download it, and then again make available to your own customers based on or to your own management, or if you can also go ahead with the codes. So typically what we have today is there are two options. Just scrolling down, I have two options. I can either accept the code or contact an admin on our end, which is what we've provided today. For successful quotes, if we are good on price, so you can see there's a very clear breakdown on that quote around the agency fees, all of that, right? And then what we do is once the quote has been seen, you can also see the terms and conditions, which would also be kept in, which would also
Could
be
you
stated.
get the code to be a bit closer to the screen?
Okay, so
Bayo, can you
um,
hear me?
yeah, so it's I'm actually showing. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just want you to zoom in a little so that people can see better.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I will. Let me see. Okay, I don't know if it's any better.
Much better, thank you.
Awesome. So a lot zoomed out now, right? And then basically you can see all of the breakdown of that particular code. And also the interesting thing about this is you also get the time. So you are able to clearly determine how long it will take for some of all these processes to happen, right? So it's also is also clearly stated there as well. Of course, you can see the terms and conditions for acceptance of the quote as well is also stated. So um, you see the definitely we're all aware of VAT, right? So documentation, all of the conditions. So again, and if there is a need to reach out to someone on the team, you can always just come from the contact us button here. So I'm zoomed out. So you can always click the contact us button here and reach out to someone internally that's on the team, and then someone will pick up that conversation from there. You probably get a call or an email. Um, that said, okay, so and for people that okay, so if you're good with the codes today, all you can do is go ahead with the acceptance. So of course there's the terms and conditions clearly stated here. It's a pretty long form, so about 22 of them there. Of course, find time, go through that, and then all things being equal, once the quote has been accepted. So you can see the status of the quote has been changed now to accepted. And then at this point, the next thing would move on to things like payments. And of course, at this point, an invoice will be shared with me just from this. Also, if I click on that quote, you see that there's a third item as well for your shipping data sheet. So what that allows our customers to do as well is document exchange. That brings me to one of the problems that we're also solving. Today we have, in the course of having to do multiple shipments, everybody gets. I mean, you see a lot of files are being exchanged, right? For first-time shippers, in the course of there's a lot of files that are being exchanged. And then for those that are familiar with shipping as well, I'm sure they are privy to all of the documents that we get to send across, documents that come to us, documents that you have to share with the shipping liners, all of that. What we've done is we provided like a safe environment where all your documents can be aggregated. So you can easily come in there, search for your documents, find the documents that you need on a per shipment basis, right? And then we also provide like a very very safe a very so you see it's a very simple form, step by step updates where you can also provide um, where you can upload additional documents. So this is it's called shipping data sheets, right? It allows us to really understand the details of your shipment after the quote has been accepted, right? So you're saying things like the container details, are there HS code, do you have trade partners? So whatever contracts do you have on that particular shipment, right? Some of all these things, some people will be new to it, some people will be won't. Some people are familiar with some of all this as well. And of course, one of the things that we've also done is for people that need clarity, right? You can always reach out to us, right? So you can always reach out to us, and if you need clarity or you need some form of hand holding, again, they're very straightforward. I mean, most of these documents you're privy to them, the ones that you have, the point of stuffing, other details. So these are documents. Oh, okay, great. So attach documents. Of course, we do like it has to be a business, so there's a bit of verification. So you see the NXP document here. These are the point of our quote acceptance. For other agencies as well, NAFDAC, SON, on a per need basis, of course, right? So you can always come in here to push all those documents to us, and then once that is done, sorry, okay, and then once that is done, we pick up on that and then execution of that particular shipment begins immediately, right? So one of the things that we pride ourselves, right, is the turnaround time for executing shipments. We are very particular and very intentional around getting some of all of these quotes right. So making sure that some of these lags, delays again that we experience typically in the shipping space, right, we're able to eliminate them. And then we're also able to provide customers seamless experiences. So there are other things that we have, and I'm sure for people that are also following along, right? The other things that we have, but time might not allow us to show things like tracking. You're able to monitor your cargo from end to end, right? Where is my cargo today? Where is it tomorrow? You're able to see real time updates, right? Other services too that we have trackers, right? And I think I was speaking to that as well. Someone was speaking to financing as well. It's one of the things that we're also looking at introducing, right? So, and that's why it's important that everybody is also on board. That way, we're able to keep you updated on some of the new services that we're working on. So, what do I mean finance? We're introducing a way for SMEs to be able to go in there today, right, and say, oh, okay, I don't have the entirety of funds to close out my shipment, right? Can I get X amount, right? And then once payment has been made, right? We can now. So can you finance a part of my shipment? Once payment has been made, we'll reimburse you. So somewhat because I'm watching. Oh, okay. So okay, so I'm just reading through the comments. Okay, so Toib, I see your comments as noted, right? So these are some of the things that we are addressing today. So we are also looking at what customers are saying. We're also hearing them, paying attention to some of the questions that they're asking us today, and looking for how we can solve them seamlessly, right? I think I already mentioned documents. I think that would probably also bring me to more or less like the end of demo. I'll just go back to my code. So for that to close out, we need to fill out these details. It's actually a very lengthy form. I'll just fill one. Let's say I'm filling the consignee. It's a 40 foot, it's one container. A postal code is this. Container weight plus 25 MT or something. Then once you save, so you can see it's filled, it's showing that this has been ticked, and then you have other details to fill out. But once all these details have been filled out, then all you can do is close out this attestation, and then we're able to close out on the quotation process. So primarily, again, one of the problems that we ensure that we're solving is one of the four problems that we solve through this is one, you're able to get like an end-to-end cargo monitoring, right? Two, you're able to get your quotes ready. So how long would it cost you to move your cargo from point A to point B, which is one of the problems that even shippers experience today, right? You're able to get your quotes in record turnaround time rather than having to wait 3 days before you even know how much you spend, right? Or having to wait 1 week in some cases, right? You are able to just put in a few details around your shipment, and then you're able to see that happen. Then three, your documents are all in one place, right? Today, And finally, on the issue of payment, we have also provided seamless payment because this is not complete again. So we're looking at the invoicing arm of things where we can also click through and then make payments online today. So, or for people that want to go to the bank as well, that has also been captured. Just saying. So we have people that want to go to the bank to close out their transactions as well. So all of that has been covered on this platform that we're providing to you today. So I think that would be all from a demo point of view. However, what I would encourage everyone today is please feel free. Can we have the quotes by mail? Say awesome, awesome. Right. So I see Toib ask if we can get the quote by mail. So typically what happens today is we send a notification immediately the quote has been prepared. You get a notification by mail with a link that takes you directly to that quote. So all you just need to do is click on the link in mail, right? And then you get the quote as well. So once you click on the link in mail, it just takes you to the platform and then you can log in and get access to that quote. So that's I don't know if that answers your question around getting your quote via mail. I see someone else is typing as well. So please, if you have any questions or need clarity, please let me know.
All right, Bayo, thank you. While we wait for the person that's typing, I just wanted to ask a question and see if you could speak to that a little. So the entire reason for this webinar is to focus on SMEs and to show them that there's an easier and best way for them to, book their shipping for export especially. Now, could you speak to why 1.365 is a better option for them than probably your more traditional freight forwarding places, and the fact that we offer end-to-end services, just to speak to the
Okay.
fact that this is an easier option for them essentially.
Okay, thank you very much for that, and thank you for that question, Oluchi. So, um, typically, what we have today, right, like I highlighted earlier, what we're eliminating is the booking process today. Typically, we have multiple vendors in that loop. So, what we provide is complete end-to-end services, right, both around export and import. So, rather than having loads of vendors as middlemen. So you would have about 6, 7, 8 middlemen, right? Just trying to move 140-foot container from Nigeria to Barcelona. Now everybody is definitely getting their own cut, and I'm sure we're all privy to this, right? So just because we know that in doing that, in carrying out that shipment, what we're doing is we just want to stand as your own partner, right, in getting your cargo from one point to another. Now, in doing that, what we've been able to do is reduce the turnaround time, reduce the time that it takes to get a quotation. So rather than you calling 6, 7, 8 persons, right, to know how much it will take for you, what we're working towards is provide you with instant quotes, right? So where you're able to go in there, put in the location that you're going, and then you're able to get the pricing. How much will it cost me to move from point A to point B? Right. So typically the process today or the flow today, traditionally, I pick up my phone, I call one of the agents in Apapa around warehousing. Some of these people, I can imagine, people don't even know the process to getting insurance today, right? Are they able to speak to things like, can they tell me where my container is, especially for containers that are going through inland haulage? So the process of moving your container from Kaduna to Lagos today, right? We have to deal with different people, different middlemen in that. Are we able to speak to live visibility? So you are seeing where your container is at every point in time. You can tell the acceleration of your container, you can tell light intensity, all of that, right? So temperature for temperature sensitive cargo as well. You're able to monitor all of that directly from the platform, right? That's one of the benefits that 1.365 is offering you today. Um, Another thing as well that we're also looking at is in terms of document exchange. Now, I'm sure for people that have shipped there as well, you are privy to the amount of documents that you have to deal with, right? Whether it's from the agencies, from the police force, customs, from the consignee, I mean, all of that, right? what we are giving you is that place where all your documents can be arranged on a per shipment basis, and then you can recover them 5 years down the line. Where are documents for this particular shipment? You have access to them 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line. There are always things that you can recover whenever you want, right? So rather than having to stack up multiple files, let me use that word, right? And then you have numbering system. Where is what? Where is what? Or maybe having to manage audit and all of that, right? So that's primarily one of the things that documentation process helps with as well. The third one is payments. So typically today, because of the number of payment processes involved, you are paying for warehousing here, you are paying for your freight charges, you know, you are paying for some of us too. We have to go and source for forex, so all of that. You will have so many stop gaps in terms of making payments. You need to pay this agency, you need to pay, say for example, your okay, so you need to pay agency, you need to pay for maybe sanitary, right? Cleaning, your warehousing. What we've done is we've just provided you with a singular channel where you can pay everything, and then we take that heavy lifting off you, right? So just one payment, and then you're able to go ahead with all of so you just make one payment and then go to bed pretty much, right? So and then we pick up all of that, doing the distributions where necessary. And as your documents are available, they are also uploaded, so you can recover them. For documents that we need to share, we also upload the documents from our end, and then you can also view them and also recover documents from here whenever you want as well. um okay, so I see there's a question.
Yes, there is. It's a long one. The person would like to know if the quote is customized and
on
confidential.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay, so thank you very much for this, right? So when I initiate a quote, I'm going to read the question out. When I initiate a quote request, the quote I will get, is it customized and confidential? Okay, then again, one of the challenges I get is turnaround time in getting quotes. Most time I get quotes on per stage basis. What do I mean? The agent come back to say pay X amount, and after a week comes back to say pay another X amount. At 1.365, is it possible to have a standard quote where I plan my shipment accordingly without having to pay extra? Thirdly, it takes more than a week to get quote from people I've spoken with. At 1.365, how long does it take me to get quote? Is it possible to get quote in 48 hours? Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to answer the question one by one. So the first one, the quote I will get, is it customized and confidential? Yes. So one of the things that we don't take lightly here is the issue of security. Your quote is very much customized to you. So it's customized to just your. So you are getting your own quote, right? Assigned to you, assigned to all the organization that you work for, right? And then or your organization, as the case may be. And then in terms of security, you are the only one that has access to that quote, except you now choose to download and share with other people. All right. So, but in terms of getting access to your code, 100%. The platform is uptime is 99, right, and then 99%. And then in terms of security, you are very, very much. It's a very, very much secure platform to getting your quote as well, right? So what we allow for is the ability to download, but only the person that initiated. So you initiated the quote either for yourself or on behalf of your organization, then you would also get access to that quote as well. That's one. The second one is the turnaround time in getting the the I get quote on a per state basis, and I think I was trying to also address this earlier. Typically today, what we have is we have when you want to pay for warehousing, you get a quote or an invoice, or you get to call that person. When you want to pay for your haulage, you make another payment. When you want to pay for your, someone come and say that okay, you paid now, you need to pay again. Next week you have to pay for haulage. Next 2 weeks you have to pay for insurance. Next 3 weeks you have to pay for customs book. So you get all of these things trickling in, small by small, small by small. Basically what we've also done is we've eliminated that. Now you're able to get one standard quote you are able to see the prices for all of these items that you've selected as you stated in your document, right? So as you stated in your form, and then you're able to select the price. Oh, okay. You're able to select the service that you want, sorry, right? And then you get just one standard quote. No one is invoicing you later. Um, no one is asking you for extra money later. Nobody is saying, okay, oh, you have paid this. Oh yeah, find something for. No, you're not finding anything for the boys. So you get one standard quote that has been addressed once, and then once the quote has been addressed, you can literally just go to bed and monitor your shipments wherever they are. We will send you regular updates around where your shipments are on a part-time basis. So immediately there's an update on your shipment. Oh, it has moved from this point to this point. It has gotten to the terminal. Now your shipments are being boarded on the vessel. Your shipment has gotten to, say, for example, a translocation point. Your shipment is at the final. I mean, you get all of these updates as well, and you can also monitor them from the platform in real time. So for people that want to see where it is now, you can also do that. So in terms of payment, you just get one standard quote that you can address and then go to bed. That's all. Right. And then in terms of the turnaround time for quotes, right? And one of the things that we pride ourselves to is being able to give you very, very reasonable quotes in a very short turnaround time. Typically, we look at about 24 hours, but in fact, we are recording success rate of way below that today. So what does that mean? Customers can go in there, ask for quotes, and on some occasions get the quote on the same working day. So I ask for a quote Monday morning, first thing 9 a.m., and then you can get a response to that same day. So you're able to see like a standard quote prepared for you, no additional cost, like I said earlier, prepared for you on the same day, right? So even less than 24 hours. I hope I answered that question. So, and it's one of the things that we are also selling as like that's one of the things that we are also making available to you, right, as a value proposition. Is one of the values that we're providing to our customers today. Um, then for those that, and I think my principal too has allowed me to give, I think this is an interesting part, right? I would also keeping fingers crossed for people that are taking advantage of this as well. So for those that are looking at signing up now, so we'll monitor people that are signing up from today. Okay, I see there's another question. So, for those that are looking at signing up now, one of the things that we're offering is we're offering free custom brokerage and post documentation. Free custom brokerage. So, okay, that's an offer, right? So, free custom brokerage and post documentation for people that will be looking at signing up for the next 7 days, right? So, for everyone that creates an account and books through 14365, you get free custom brokerage and post documentation. Olichi, I don't know if you're capturing that. You probably want to help I trade that as well, right? So,
I definitely will. I definitely will.
so what we're saying is you won't be paying for custom brokerage, and then also for your post documentation charges, they would be 100% free. So I'll take advantage of that. So I think that's it. That would be all. Again, if there are questions, you can always send a mail across. I'll also put a mail if you need to reach out via mail, or you need to reach out via WhatsApp as well. I believe that would also be for people that have extra questions. You can also put out your questions. I'm sure that would come up in the chat later, right? So there will be a phone number that you can always access us via. You can also go to the platform and then request. Let me just show. So from the platform today, you can also just click on the bottom left or bottom right, sorry. All right. So if you can see my screen, if you can still see my screen, you can click on the bottom right and you can request that we call you back. You can leave us a message and then you can also chat with us on WhatsApp, whichever one is convenient. So all of these channels work today. We're addressing all of these channels, so your questions are answered in time. If you need us to call you, we can always put a call to you at your preferred time as well. And then we can also chat with us. You can also chat with us on WhatsApp as well. So, yes, I think that's all. Again, just to iterate, the the free custom brokerage for people from now, Wednesday, 24th of August, till for the next 7 days. We'll be offering free custom brokerage, and post-shipment documentation will also be addressed free of charge. That said, I think that's all from my end. I'll still be looking in the comments for questions, and
All right, thank you so much, Bayo. Thank you so much. I think everyone who hasn't been exposed to the platform before definitely has gotten an education on it, and thank you for announcing the offer. Very interesting offer that expires on the 31st of August. I've done you the liberty to go and check when it
the,
expires to make sure that nobody says, "Oh, I was not told." I've gone to check. So please, everyone, take advantage. If you look at the top of the screen, where, or you know what, Bayo, can you stop sharing so that they can see
oh,
the click up button clearer? You see 14365 booking platform sign up. So just click on that band at the top of the screen, and immediately sign up on the platform. If you do, you get access to free customs brokerage and post documentation services from 14365 just by signing up between today and the 31st of August 2022, which is Wednesday next week. Please take advantage. Please take advantage. I know that we've spent about almost 2 hours, and it's been a valuable 2 hours. So we're even now piling some more value on that value that you've gotten and saying just sign up, and then you get free customs brokerage and post documentation from 14365 within the next 7 days, just because you joined this webinar. I'd advise that you start to get the clicking, start to get anybody you know to start to sign up, because we're going to include all sign-ups within the next 1 week. Signing up meaning that you open and you put your email address, you put your account, and then you get your password, and then you are now a member of our family, essentially. So that is what we would like to ask of everyone at the moment. It's 12:41, and we've had a very interesting time with all our speakers. I'd like to very much thank Mr. Puneet, who's the country manager for 14365. I'd like to thank Mr. Anu, who's a supply chain expert who joined us today and gave a fantastic presentation. And I'd like to thank, last but not least, Bayo, our CTO here at 14365, for a fantastic demo of our platform and for explaining to us all that we stand to benefit by joining. And on that note, I would like to thank everyone who actually joined the webinar and has stayed till the very end. I hope that it was valuable for you. I hope that you were able to learn something. I hope that you were able to gain some insight into the export market for SMEs and the changes that are happening to make it easier and faster for SMEs to export their goods. Don't forget, 14265 is your digital channel for seamless freight forwarding. And we hope that you will sign up. We hope that you will ask other people to sign up. And we can't wait to give you the free goodies that we've already offered. So on that note, I'd like to bring this webinar to a close. I'd like to thank everyone for joining. I'd like to also thank my team at the back end helping with all the challenges with the internet. I'd like to thank everyone for just, showing up and for a successful August webinar. And we can't wait to see you next time. We'll definitely send you information about this one, information about the free offer, and also information about the next webinar that we're going to be holding. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Oluchi Okafor, and I work here at 14365 Managing Partnerships. And we're looking forward to your sign-ups, and we're looking forward to welcoming you to our family. All right, so thank you everyone. I'm going to leave the webinar open for a few more minutes so that people can still take advantage and click on the sign up button, which is on the green band right above my head that you can see. So please sign up, please sign up, please sign up. We're waiting to get your sign-ups, and we're waiting to get the sign-ups of everybody that you know that you're going to send this to. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.